Good morning. I wanted to bring up a epigenetic or biological clocks because they're out there and many people have questions about them and the use of these biological clocks. So I don't want you to go spend the money expecting some type of magical answer and waste your money. They're not for determining how long you're going to last because they're not that accurate. They're not really proven to show if he says that you are biological age of 50 and you're really 40, chronological, doesn't mean you're dying sooner. Nobody can predict that. As compared to a person who's 50 and he says the biological clock is 40. It's just an indicator of how fast your body is aging. So you can make adjustments based on that, and there are things that are known to improve the markers or the biological clocks. They work on methylation, which I'm not going to get into the details because it's a whole video for that. But the purpose of this is so you understand if you buy this, what I would do is do it. Make the adjustment. If you're trying to measure something like you're taking NAD, you're taking eating more vegetables, exercising, and you want to do that, check where you are today, implement the change. 6 months to a year, repeat the test and see if there's a marked difference in what direction or no change at all. Now, that doesn't mean that healthy fat habit doesn't work, but if you see a marked improvement, you know it worked. You know it did something good. There has been studies that have been done using these uh, clocks, and these clocks will change in one way or the other. For example, when people stop smoking, they really improved tremendously. That's one of the biggest changes. There was a subtle change or moderate change when people exercise. Now, exercise has a lot of other benefits that may not be measured by this test, like your VO2 max improves. So, depends on what you're measuring is the test that you want to use. I don't think this is a great test to know that is your cardiovascular endurance. Better to use VO2 max. But another thing that helped tremendously, that's surprising is, or not really surprising, but the amount it improved was close to the amount of smoking. Stopping smoking was a vegetable. When they did a study and tested people on vegetable intake, their biological epigenetic clocks improved. And that kind of makes sense because vegetables are more of a substance you're ingesting that changes some of these methylation markers. So in general, that's what you would use it for. Now, what test is the best or which one? Well, Dr. Horvath invented or pioneered the Horvath test. You can do that one. But there's more advanced tests nowadays. He also is part of them. Grim Age and Dunedin test, Dunedin. It's from a city, I think it's in Ireland, not sure, or maybe Holland. Doesn't matter. That's the name. It's called Dunedin Pace. That one tells you at what pace you're aging. In other words, it's like a speedometer. And then the Grim Age is going to tell you how much you have aged, like the odometer in the car, if you compare it to that. So it's good to have both so you understand where you stand today, what are the areas that have apparently shown more wear and tear, and then the other one to tell you where things seem to be accelerated or not, and what is your pace. It's very tempting to try to extrapolate and see, oh, am I going to last 10 more years? If any test or anybody out there is telling you that, there's a room or there's a clock out there, that's so inaccurate. I mean, if you want to play with it, just, but remember, this is, the human body has so many complexities and there are so many things to take into account. That's not going to give you, but it should give you guidance. There's other markers that give you guidance, your A1C, your CRP, all these things are going to give you guidance on things that need to be corrected. And there's a test also called PhenoAge that has other markers. So if you want to get the whole package, I will go to TrueAge. I think it's their website. I have no I have no financial incentive to do this. Uh, but TrueAge, if you Google that, you'll find the place, and make sure you don't buy a shitty counterfeit one from some idiotic place. So TrueAge, you can buy there the whole package. I will buy the two or three ones you want, at least the Green Mage and Dunedin Paste, and it will give you some fun information to understand. It's just more testing. It's like I always tell patients, testing is not absolute values; it's more trends, and it's for guidance. More information, the better. It's like a big, complex machine with a bunch of different metrics you're looking and trying to correct them and keep them in a range. I hope this was good for you. If you have any questions, please message me.